Hey everybody, it's Ben and Beta, and today we have something special for you. Misty and I took a little trip up to Denver to check out some tents, and we might have even purchased one. So on today's episode, we're going to talk all about some different tents from 4x4 Colorado and maybe which one we purchased. For about a year now, we've been looking at tents for our overlanding build-out when we got our truck. During that time, we've looked at dozens of different options, and we've taken that time to narrow down what was most important to us to help us find the right tent. So here's how we ended up at the 4x4 Colorado storefront on this fine Friday afternoon. Once we started looking at the different reviews, videos, and websites at the various tents that were available, Misty and I kept talking about the pluses and minuses of the different designs, and in the end, it came down to a couple of things. First, we really wanted an aluminum shell to ensure that our investment lasted as long as possible, especially in Colorado with its wild temperature swings, tight trails, and a dry climate with a strong sun. While plastic shells would have been lighter, we read a lot of reviews from people in Colorado where the plastic shells just didn't hold up as well as they were hoping. We also wanted enough space for the two of us in our 70-pound dog Roo, along with the ability to actually store our sleeping gear in the tent, all while keeping the footprint of the tent to the size of our truck bed. So we had the option of running a mid-height bed rack if we wanted. Further, we were also looking for something that had a little bit heavier tent material, but also had windows on all four sides for ventilation and great views. And the 4x4 Colorado team was the first to come out with a hinged design that allowed for 4 windows on all 4 sides. We also looked at the 23-0 Armadillo tents, which have a similar design, but those had plastic exteriors and therefore didn't meet our aluminum requirement. Oh, and we also wanted a tent that was going to be very comfortable, and I felt for the money it needed to have some accessories included, things like an interior light, shoe bags, and a ladder, and some tents don't actually come with those things. By the way, if you like this video, please help me out and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and feel free to leave some comments with questions, some thoughts, or maybe tell us what your setup looks like or what you're thinking about for your setup. We really appreciate those, and that would be super helpful. So thinking all those things through helped us to narrow down exactly what we wanted, and that led us to 4x4 Colorado and the Alto series. I also want to add that I had the opportunity to check out pretty much all of the tent companies at Overland Expo Mountain West in August. If you have the opportunity to go to an expo, you should definitely do it. It's super helpful. It was really helpful for me, and it helped me to solidify and verify my decisions before we actually made a purchase. Another great benefit about choosing 4x4 Colorado is that they're a US company, and they're only about an hour away from us. So that made it possible for us to go check out their tents again. I wanted to see the tents one last time, but I also wanted to make sure that Misty had the opportunity to check them out too. So we drove up to 4x4 Colorado to check them out, and we were pleasantly surprised. While the storefront is small, the team at 4x4 Colorado answered all of our questions. They demoed the setup and takedown of the tent, and they let us have as much time as we needed to check all the tents out and be sure that this was the way we wanted to go. During our time asking questions and trying the tents out, we learned a few things that you might be interested in as well. First, 4x4 Colorado has a total of 4 tents in 3 different models. We were able to try out 2 of them. The Nimbus is a clamshell style tent, which we determined to be too small for all 3 of us to be comfortable. And then there was the Alto Elite, which is the king size version of the tent we were most interested in. We also learned that the standard mattress was just not going to be sufficient for us. We both are side sleepers and we have some back issues, so we needed a little bit more cushion and comfort. And luckily, 4x4 Colorado has an option for that as well. We really love our X-Ped mattress that we've used in our Tucson this past fall. And 4x4 Colorado has something called the Cloud Comfort mattress that seems very similar to that mattress. So much so that they told us we could use the specs on the X-Ped as a solid reference point when we asked about the R value. Interesting. This mattress was available for us to try in the showroom, and we both agreed that it was the way to go for us. Misty had a few other questions and wanted to try taking down and setting up the tent herself. She weighs about $125, so let's just see how that went.
Clearly, it's gonna take some muscle for somebody to.
Yeah. So what's the
And then you grab, and then you would grab that hand. So pull it down.
Jesus. Okay, I'm gonna do this.
The handle is much easier. What I like to do is I stand on the rear tire.
Yeah.
That way I can just reach the handle, and I'll use this the strap to kind of bring it down just an inch or 2.
You'll be closing this all the time.
Most of the time, yeah. So she had a few issues with it, but this is a prototype tent that almost never gets taken down in their showroom, so the struts are a little bit stiff.
Our friend Brian recently unpacked his Intrepid Geo 2.5, and you can see that the struts were a little bit stiff there as well. Over time, they told us it would loosen up a little bit, but I can always set it up and take it down too. This shows the major downside of this tent. It's heavy. The Alto Mini, the tent we chose, is queen-sized, and it's about 230 pounds. But we felt the quality and features will outweigh, well, the weight. Misty had another good question as well.
And what is the warranty?
So we offer the best in-house warranty other than James Berard. Ours is a 5-year.
Okay.
And that covers anything manufacturer defect, anything that goes wrong that shouldn't. And we offer that long warranty because we know
There's not going
95% of the time nothing's going to go wrong.
Nice. Afterward, I checked in the warranty of other manufacturers, and indeed, this was the best I found of the tents that we had considered. Brian's Intrepid is also pretty good at 3 years, but 5 is definitely better. Misty also asked about common repairs that they have seen, and they said the most common was zippers. They were pretty rare, but it was when people kind of horsed on them a little bit too much, but those are pretty easy to repair. The cool part for us is they're only an hour away, so if something does go wrong, we can just drive to their showroom and they can fix it. Lastly, we also learned that 4x4 Colorado has plans to move locations in the near future and expand their abilities to serve their customers. Because beyond tents and accessories, they also can modify vehicles with suspensions, lifts, tires, and more. And they partner with a ton of the very best vendors for these endeavors. Both Misty and I were very impressed with the products and the staff at 4x4 Colorado. We felt they were very honest, and we're super excited to get the tent and get outdoors. Now we just need a truck. Once we do get the truck, I'll be heading back to the 4x4 Colorado storefront so that they can install it, and I'll have a video about the installation as well. If you want to hear a bit more about how Brian and I made our tent choices, I recommend you check out our podcast episode on that. Feel free to leave your comments and questions, and I'll respond to those as quick as I can. But as always, thank you so much for watching. Remember, live your life in beta, and we'll see you next time.